Ladies and gentlemen, as the next installment of the Quantum Leap Global 24-hour show and 2-week exhibition going all the way through to the 9th of July, it's my pleasure to welcome to the program today Saviz Surveyor. And Saviz is going to talk to us today about property and wealth creation using trade credits, digital trade credits. So welcome to the show, Saviz.
Hello, John, and hello to your viewers. Great to be in your show and great to have you here.
So, Saviz, you're talking to us from Sydney, where you've gone back under lockdown, I know. So I appreciate the effort you've gone to get on the show today. So if we can just crack on, you have developed a company called Bizspot. So just give us the overall concept of what Bizspot does in a nutshell, Saviz.
Well, John, Bizspot is basically a platform that promotes the use of barter and bartering in the community. So basically what we do is that we are trying to reduce dependency in fiat money. You guys are the pioneers who started barter 35 years ago. We are just basically the next generation of the same concept, and we still believe that barter is the best, better than cryptocurrencies, better than a lot of other solutions that the modern world has brought up. And we are pretty much following that dream. And I do believe in it, that barter is the best alternative. It has been. And if we can come up with solutions that to resolve those problems, probably barter would one day take over. If not the currency, it will be the best complementary or supplementary currency for any country, any economy, and any community.
Yes, so thanks for that, Saviz. So just for clarity, Saviz keeps using the word barter, and it's not the exchange of goods and services for goods and services. He is referring to, of course, a digital trade credit, which enables a seller to accept a digital trade credit from a buyer, but then not have to buy back from that buyer an amount to that value at that time. So they have a store of digital trade credits that they then can go and buy other things and properties, what we're focusing on today. So Saviz, with the Bizspot platform, you allow multiple currencies of all different types and sizes to hibernate and to exist on one platform, and then you go and buy and sell property using that mechanism. So in effect, it enables people to sell spare capacity in their business, hold it in the form of a digital trade credit on multiple exchanges, and then go and buy property. So let's just work about, Saviz, if you're an everyday buyer and you just want to buy your own property as an investment place or for your own home, for instance, what's the mechanism there? How do you go about it? Do you list on the platform that you want to buy a property, and have you got a whole list of other people that are selling property? How does the mechanism work?
So John, the whole idea came about, one of the biggest problems at the moment we have in Australia, especially in the major cities, are that local people, the native people, can no longer buy properties. The property market has gone crazy expensive, and it's literally put the younger generation completely out of the market. If you're working somewhere, it's almost impossible to have that deposit. So let's just talk about that section, one part of it. But as you know, the modern barter economy, it is an economy and it's very vast. But talking about the real estate, so I thought that, okay, for the past 30 years or more than that, as you're aware, property transactions happen through the barter exchanges, and barter exchanges were used to give interest-free credit lines, which I assume you still do, and give it to businesses. So I thought that, why is it happening in businesses? Why can't we have a mechanism that have it available to moms and dads, that they don't have the deposit, but they have the capacity? Maybe they are able to do something in barter, or maybe they're able to repay it back or acquire barter by selling in the auctions, or some way or other, one or another, basically have access to this barter trade credits or the digital, as you could refer to, the digital credits, and then use it to buy properties. So we are basically working exactly with the same scenario. It's not something that I've invented. I've just basically made it available to everybody else so they can use this barter trade credit as deposit. So specifically talking about real estate, what we do is that we basically, this two part. Number one, we go and make agreements with different sellers, vendors. We make them understand that the power of the barter system and how they can utilize the barter system and why they should be having a portion of the price of the property with trade dollars. That's on one hand. So once we've made the agreement, then we list these properties in our platform, and then we invite all members of different barter exchanges or moms and dads or the community, and we tell them that, hey, look, we've got this opportunity. The seller is happy and agreeing to accept a portion of it, let's say 20% of it, and barter, and that's an opportunity, and we can get the barter to you easily accessible, and pretty much from there, everyone's happy. The seller's happy because they make a quick sale for their property. The buyer's very happy because now, without going to the bank or using their savings or without, worrying, they now can borrow it, and pretty much instead of paying rent anymore, they can pay it towards the mortgage of the property. And we are happy because we still make our fees from the sellers of the properties as a real estate agents. So that's basically what got us the idea. But now we do a lot more than that. We do sell businesses this way. We do sell larger transactions. So we more focus on larger transactions than everyday, restaurants and things like that. We leave those to the barter exchanges.
Yep. So the upshot of it all is that if you're either a private individual or you own a business, there's an opportunity to get a deposit to get onto the property ladder. So using your mechanism. So that's
absolutely. And on real estate, that's exactly how it is. But also for other investments, as long as it's available in our network, it definitely helps them. And I don't know what's your view on a lot of the times that, as you know, people trying to cash convert the trade dollars. Most businesses, because the cost of their trade dollars is low. So some of them, by cash converting, they get the cash flow that they need. And obviously that benefits the buyer, so they can get those trade dollars easier that way as well, which we can help them on that sense as well.
Yep. Roughly how many properties or value of properties have you got on the system currently, Saviz? Ballpark.
John, if you go and look at bizspot.com.au and go on the property section, you would see we've got at least an excess of $2 billion worth of properties. And we only started this concept a year and a half ago. So we've got so far about 10,000 businesses that displaying, I think 11,000 businesses displaying, but we've got 16,000 registered users in Bizspot in a year and a half. And it is growing. Like every day I get 30, 40 people coming up, whether businesses or consumers. And we pretty much provide a free platform for everyone to go there, advertise yourself, market yourself. If you've got spare capacity, you've got something that you can't move, here is a platform. Go and make your own deals. We don't charge no fees. We don't charge anything. So our benefit is basically we do collateral. We have collateral benefits by charging fees from the windows of properties or larger transactions. Apart from that, this platform is for everybody.
Lovely. What a great planning. So that was 2.1 billion, not million. So
billion, definitely.
Yeah, that's a lot of.
Well, you know what? That is because the Australian property hike and the property prices definitely helps, because in Australia we hardly have anything under $500,000. So, few of the projects that I've got that they're coming to over $100 million. Only two of them, they're $50 million. The oil refinery, and we've got an island, which I don't know if you've seen it. So we've got some very large properties, and we've got the everyday use properties as well, and we've got it all across Australia.
Lovely. So moving in, if for those that have, that's a great opportunity for any people looking at the show today. If you own a business or you're a private individual, then if you come back through the show, we've got a way of acquiring property using the spare capacity component in your business. Let's just move along now to Saviz, to property developers and to property vendors. So if I'm sure you have a combination of both, and I know that most of your listings are with property developers. So if we've got any, let's start with them. So property developers looking at the system, there's probably three stages in a property development where developers can get stuck with inventory or holding costs. So let's walk through those. So at the very beginning of a development, there's a requirement through the financing, usually through the bank, to have a pre-sale component. So how do you help developers with a pre-sale component?
Well, John, you nailed it right on the head. Exactly. A lot of developers, one of the biggest challenge for a developer is to acquire pre-sales. The market is not that responsive because not many people have their money laying back in their bank accounts to just go and buy off the plan. Especially in a stable market, it becomes, it's actually daunting and very difficult. So a lot of these property developers go to very different extents to find buyers. So what we do is that we offer them a solution. We tell them that, look, if you accept barter trade credits or the digital dollars, we call it BTC, barter trade credits. Sorry, excuse me, because I keep using this term, but I know that you call it digital dollars. Same thing we're talking about. So we convince them to come here, buy these properties, and then utilize those digital dollars within those exchanges that they're part of, and then buy goods and other things that for your development you'll be needing it. So you leave a very good high precedent for your properties, because we don't provide discounts. We sell it at valuation. Our always condition is that has to be within bank valuation, and we sell it at the market value. And then the buyers use the interest-free credit from these barter networks, or we provide them with the credit that they can use instead of using their own money. So now it makes sense without them, losing interest in their money or using their own savings. They use this facility, and pretty much the developers happy to accept it. And we've done that in multiple projects for the past year and a half, at least 5 or 6 projects. That in one project in Mayfield in Sydney, we did about 31, and the developers basically used our pre-sales, go to the bank and said to the bank that, hey, I've got my pre-sales, I want construction finance, and straight on got the approvals, and the project is almost halfway.
Yep. Okay. So that solves 2 problems for most developers. One is getting a pre-sale component that the bank will accept. The second thing is setting a market price that's going to preserve the return on investment for the developer. So a nice double whammy. Then during the course,
absolutely, especially the precedent is very important, John, because think of a 50-unit complex. If the developer is trying to discount and use discount as a solution, it's always going to come back and bite him, because when it comes to settlement, then you would have the same problem with everything else. So precedent is definitely one of the most important parts.
Yep. And then during the course of construction, Saviz, you've got the mechanism that allows the developer to offset some of the marketing costs and the, getting the model of the whole thing done, and the architectural designs, and perhaps the groundworks and some of the suppliers. So that decreases the holding cost requirement.
Absolutely, John. And another thing is that with construction finance, the way it works is that the banks basically releases funds as the project completes. So that is a good cash conversion for the developer, that basically uses trade dollars, now that the digital credits, to go and buy supplies, and we can actually help them. So I bet you, if you go to UK to any major building supplier and you tell the building supplier that I've got a complex of 50 units to construct and I need 15% or 10% or 20% trade dollars for the bricks, they will not turn you back. So therefore we use the leverage. So pretty much the same thing. By the time you finish with that developer's already spent and used all those trade credits, or he might be even wanting to sell more as well. So it definitely helps the developer on that end as well.
Yep. And then the final part of the jigsaw is that in a lot of developments, you get to the end of the project, which is where your profit lies, on the remaining units, and you help sell them at a non-discounted rate too, don't you?
Absolutely. And so we are basically a one-stop shop for these developers, because we can literally help them and assist them. And through Bizspot, so we also have conjunction with other agents as well. So we don't just do the barter side. So let's say if the developer wants also some cash sales, we will get some of our panel agents to market it, sell it in the normal market as well. But of course, for the developers, their preferred option is that full cash sales. Our option is better for all the buyers, not so good for the developers, because obviously because of these restrictions on the use of the trade digital dollars. But if we help developers all the way, now we will have a very good developer customer in our hand to do the next project and next project and next project with us.
Yep. And that's the important part, that even if a developer has excess digital trade credits to bring forward out of the old project, they can bring them forward in to offset cost into the new project.
Absolutely, John. Absolutely. That's exactly the idea. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Saviz, you're currently working mainly in Australia, and you operate from Sydney. So, do you have any overseas property, or is there any way of, or are you looking at moving into the overseas market outside Australia in the foreseeable future?
Well, John, definitely, this is probably one thing that one of my major goals are to do this. And to do this, it's a great opportunity to basically help a lot of people that they want to move. Let's say they move the equity from Australia. If they're in Australia, they want to move it to UK, or let's say to Thailand or to India or somewhere else. They can do it without going through this bank transfer system, because basically we can do that equity transfer accordingly with the same trade system. So of course I am looking forward to expand this network. The larger this network becomes, and because it is free, I believe that it will go everywhere very soon. And pretty much I think there's a need. If it works in Australia, if it is a successful system, it should work anywhere else. And I always tell my friends, business friends, the same, that Australia is a tiny country comparing to population. So imagine if we had the same solution in the UK, if we had it in the US, if we had it in a major countries, of course it would be much better. But if the concept is working in Australia, it surely can work everywhere. And the good part is that basically we support all the current barter exchanges. We basically generate the more sales, we get them more customers, we introduce the concept of bartering to the community, we help people. So everyone overall is happy with us, because we are basically benefiting everybody in the process of doing so.
That's fantastic. So anybody watching the show, doesn't matter where you are in the world, if you'd like to learn more, then Bizspot, bizspot.com.au is the website, or you can contact me through the show, and I can give you more information. Saviz, it's been a great pleasure to have you on the show today, and I'm sure that anybody that's looking to get into property, either as a buyer, a seller, or a project person of some kind, or even some of the trades that are associated, should be excited by this segment. It's been our pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, John. Really pleasure to have you, like always. Thank you.